I'm Brent Leary.
I'm glad that you figured that out. I haven't quite figured out who I am. So I'm Paul G. parentheses at P Greenby.
Wow, that's you didn't put that in the little caption there.
Oh, AKA Paul Greenberg. I just remembered.
Oh, there you go. All right, and that means we are qualified to say we are the CRM players. And you know who else is qualified to be here? It's the moment is Finn, and it'll take a moment to read this one out.
It's finish.
Wow, that was quick.
Finish.
Really?
Yep.
You said that so quick. Do you know what it says?
Nope.
But is that just a quick
kind of, I mean, I may be off, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. But I recognize the language format. That's what I'm good at. I don't actually speak any of the languages, but I know the languages and what they look like.
Well, so it's finish.
Finish. Yep. I think so.
Are you finished?
I am. That's my.
Yeah. We're finished after this.
Yeah, I think we are.
All right, Sven, let us know. Is the
years partnership dissolution immediately?
Is the venerable Paul Greenberg right? Is this finished? Let us know. In the meantime, we are the CRM players, and guess what? We've been bringing the Az since 2009.
I'd love to still know what language Az is.
As long as we make sure to pronounce the Z.
I know.
Don't
soften it in any way.
No softening here, folks. And by the way,
I was right. Finland.
Christmas
look at that.
Trees, balls, lights, the smell of baked apples, and how do happy faces smell? Anyway, joy and giving. The heart expands. I wish you. That is so nice.
That is beautiful.
Very nice.
And that is does our hearts good to close the year this way with that.
Absolutely.
That
absolutely. Wow, that's cool. All right. Hey, Michael Klein.
Hey, man. Happy New Year.
That's holidays. A happy belated birthday.
Oh, well, thank you.
That's right.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. We're going to do something related to that a little later.
Yeah, sure. That's right. Your birthday is on the 19th, so we caught like in between her. But
yeah, it's great. I'm happy to take greetings here too. I actually have a count, because I actually every year I would make an account, but this year the thing that made it a little slow and difficult. I don't think I've completely done it yet, but I'm responding even with a thanks or something to every one of them.
How many?
Well, right now it's 1,012.
Oh my God.
Well, Michael makes it 1,013 actually, but
Jesus.
I know
that'll take, if you do one a day, that'll take you.
Well, no, I've been responding. That's how I'm kind of counting as I respond. But at a certain point, I just counted up what I had left. I still have about 200 plus left to respond to.
That would have been a good stump the Brent. That's a lot, man. That's really good. And keep adding on. Yeah. Let's see.
I am praying that we do.
Oh, he's another Yankees fan. Huh?
Yeah. He's a huge Yankee fan. It's like me. Basically, we're brothers in sports teams or in sports. Yamamoto is our prime target now that we got Juan Soto. So I have Soto and Yamamoto.
Wow, that rhymes. That goes real.
I know it does. And so I'm trying to think of who else we could get. That ends with a TO.
Just as long. Well, there's Terrell Owens.
No, it has to end. Oh, God, that would be the worst.
All right. So, this is the end for us.
I know, so to speak. Probably not the best way to put it, but this is the end of year 14 of CRM Playaz. Year 14 years. Yeah, that is pretty astonishing. All the way back. January 14th, I think it was 2009. Thanks. Who was the one? Was it Eric or who was the one who gave us the? Gave us that
because we were just talking about it and we didn't have any specific. It might have been Eric. Somebody did a Google search and came back up. Hey, Jason, good to see you.
Hey, man.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you too. And I guess my email got there.
Yeah. That's good. Good. We know that Jason probably got the email, which is good.
So for those of you who don't know, Jason is the chief evangelist of Creatio. He was also one of our panelists on the CRM 2024.
Yeah.
The CRM 2024 retrospective.
Yeah, there's no CRM 2004.
That's right, the 2004 retrospective.
You know what? It was funny because I had, first of all, I guess it's a very easy typo. When you type in what is CRM in 2020, when you mean to type in what is CRM in 2024, you type in 2000. I hadn't even recognized it until somebody else brought it to my attention.
I saw it late.
I didn't see it all until somebody said 2004. Like, sorry. And then at the end of that first day, my wrap-up question was supposed to be, what is CRM going to look like, in a year or 2 years? I said 12 years. That's why everybody started asking me, 12 years, really? And I was thinking to myself during the thing, I don't remember saying 12 years, but then I listened or watched the rebroadcast or the recording, and I damn well did say 12 years, which makes absolutely no sense.
Let's just say your electrical system was off. your atomic clock wasn't working properly.
That is so weird. But anyway, no, Jason was a part of that. And once again, big gratitude to everybody that joined us on the panel, on the comments, because I think we totaled it up, and I think we're closing in on 9,000 or 10,000 total viewing minutes for just those 2 hour and a half things. So a lot of interaction, a lot of discussion, a lot of engagement. Thanks to everybody for that. That might have been the biggest thing we did this year. Either that, possibly the 0 to a billion with the CRM. I mean, with the CEOs. That was another big show for this year.
The other thing though was the Sridhar interview.
Well, when we were in India,
that was tens and tens and tens.
Well, you know what? Funny, this show is kind of like this. The idea for this show really comes from the Golden Smog of CRM, or you maybe the Midas of Martech, whichever one you prefer. It is Anand Thakur. He said, "You know what? Why don't you and Paul just end the year kind of talking about the whole year, reminiscing what you like, maybe have other people chime in about their highlights for the year." And I was like, yeah, that works. So that's what we're kind of going to do. And, now that we know that Jason is watching, you just received something that you were going to wait until we were doing the show to reveal or unravel?
Unpack. This is the unboxing there may be a box in it, so we'll see, but it's unwrap it right now. So here's the deal. Every year, I'm out of focus. Hold on a minute. I am gonna.
Every year you're out of focus?
Yeah, I kind of am actually. I'm gonna go crazy. It's gonna go a little wild for a minute, and I'll be right back in. How's that?
It's still a little soft. There it is. There it is. There
we go. All right. So every year since I've known them in 2011, BPM Online, now Creatio, has sent me a birthday gift. It's been wildly creative. I'll show you an example of one of the ones that sent me when they were still BPM Online years ago. It's hard to see just because of the glare, but it's a Paul Greenberg action figure, right? Now, a guy with glasses, including one glass frame backwards, is not exactly the action-oriented looking, but this is the kind of thing they would do. They've sent me whiskey cast. They sent me a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue one year that has an engraved, embedded picture of me on the label. It's like amazing. I'm never going to drink it, of course. It's just beautiful. So I got what I think is the birthday present here because I was informed that I was going to get one. and it showed up, and it's from Boston, and it says from Creatio, so it clearly is it. So I don't know what it is, but I thought we would all take a look together. And first, before I even open it, regardless of what it is, thank you, Jason. Please pass on to your entire team and you, of course, my undying gratitude for what you do for me I just love you guys, and you've always been very kind, and I absolutely appreciate it. You guys are, and your creativity is unmatched, I will tell you. So I'm kind of
that's a good reason why they call themselves Creatio, right?
All right, now it's a big box. It's got some of the Creatio happy holidays. Now this may be, I know they sent some analyst boxes out, so this could be that. I don't know. So this may be the box they send out to different analysts. I have no idea. Sorry about the.
Yeah, it's not getting it.
Yeah, this is unfortunately, this camera does not have a great deal of autofocus. So here we go. We'll see. I'll open it up. And again, it may be the analyst box. I don't know. Whatever I know is it's heavy. And I don't know. Wait.
I should say, hey, Jason, is it safe for him to do this on air?
It was.
Oh, look at this. It says, I don't know who LinkedIn.
Oh, this is okay. This is different. So this is the analyst Christmas gift.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll take a look. We'll see what they're giving some people out there. Hang on. Not very exciting.
Jason says it is safe for you to do on the air. So.
Okay. Oh, it exploded. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, this is definitely an analyst.
We lost your camera.
Oh, I see. What happened was the box top
it blew up,
fell and changed my video, switched my video.
Wow.
Here's a card. It says, join us at a special culinary masterclass, No Code Days Florida, during No Code Days Florida. Try these recipes. Creatio Happy Holidays. There's a lovely card that I'm sure everyone got from Catherine here, but it's really nice. Dear Paul, the holiday season is time to ponder on things that have shaped our journey in 2023. As we look back on the year, the Creatio family wants to thank you for your invaluable contributions to the CRM industry and exceptional thought leadership. Please wishing you a happy holidays filled with warmth and joy. Warmest wishes with genuine care. Catherine Costareva, CEO, Creatio. There is tea, which is hot cinnamon sunset. There is what looks to be a glass of some kind. A glass. I won't open it just because, well, knowing there's a mitt, an oven mitt, which I'm sure can be used. There are these are Truva orange preserves, which says they're Anatolian legend. Well, that's interesting. There is, I don't know what the hell this is. Just it looks like a napkin or a handkerchief or a wipe of some kind. And there's this is, I know without opening it, a chef's apron. And that's it. That is it. It's so apparently there's some Jason maybe or Kate actually or Jason, either of you put something in that about what the No Code Days in Florida are. All right, put something in the comments on that, so we know what you're talking about. And thank you on behalf of all us analysts out here. Unfortunately, when the birthday one shows, we will be off the air.
Do you have a family recipe, by the way?
No, none. You know what my family recipe is? Eating whatever Yvonne cooks. That's my family recipe.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, but nonetheless, thank you, and thank you for the forthcoming thing too. Whenever it gets here, we'll put it out there when it comes. I'll put it out on LinkedIn what it is. Okay, I'll do that. But we won't have a show till next year, so can't do much more.
No, that's nice though.
Yeah, but thank you. And by the way, we will eat the orange preserves.
Very nice. Yeah, notice I'm sporting this first. I just got this hat yesterday. It's it is a Rams hat. It's just
oh my god, yeah,
color hat.
What is it like? I mean,
It's
because
like a light blue.
Yeah, you can see light blue on the white logo.
Yeah, it's very, very
subtle.
Yeah, very subtle. But it was I saw the color. I was like, oh, that's a cool hat. But because originally I was gonna wear. See, I'm wearing my old. Wait, yeah, there we go. Like the little fleece with the traditional Rams helmet, and I was gonna wear a cap that had the original logo too. But this is no joke. Let me just show you why it was easier for me to just go with this.
Okay.
All right. I thought, well, it could be black on black, so I could wear this one.
Right.
Or I could go with the multicolored one.
Right.
Or black with the little stripe in front. Or blue with stripes on the sides.
Wow.
Or kind of a navy. Well, I don't know what kind of light blue. Looks good though, right? Or one I haven't even worn yet. It's still in the wrapper.
Wow. Well, that's straight. That's white. And is there purple on the back of it?
No.
Oh, it's just the way the light was reflecting.
Yeah. And those are just the hats I saw that were in my. Yeah, there's one up there too. Those are just the ones that have the original logo that were in this particular room.
Notice Finn's coming.
No. Yeah, I like the black on black. I've done that several times.
Yeah.
It's a good
one
look.
of my favorites. Also, can you put up the comment that has the link for Creation of No Code Days there? There it is. All right. I highly recommend that people pay attention to that event. If you can, go. If you can't, I assuming it's streamed, watch. Creation both masters at no code, but they're also mastered at events, right? So the combination works very well for them.
Nice. Very nice. All right. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I did a few good minutes with hey Larry. There you go, Larry.
Damn, man.
Big game tonight, Larry. Big game tonight.
But where have you been? Come on, man. We need to see you again on happy hours.
He's too busy working.
Yeah, so what? You know what's more important. Get over to the happy hours.
There's now coming from way down under.
This man I am talking to. I have to. The man, master of caps with a master of cats. Woo! Man, this guy is so damn poetic. For those of you who don't know, Aaron Spinley, who I met when he was at SAP and Thunderhead later, and other things in the works, let's just say, he is a master himself of writing. He is a absolute strategist, theorist, thought leader when it comes to anything engagement, CX. I mean, he's a star at so many levels, and he can run a practice or a show. I mean, the guy can literally, like, if you put him in charge of AP lives in Australia, so if you put him in charge of sales, he will meet every single number you have for him and then some. And in the meantime, put out some astonishingly well-written thought leadership. And I am not joking. I'm not saying it because I love the guy, which I do, but I am saying it because that is literally his skill set and talent. He's amazing.
Nice. By the way, have fun in Costa Rica there, Jason.
Excuse me.
That's a really great way to spend the holiday there on the beach.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Enjoy, man. Enjoy. Big hugs, sir. Happy holidays.
Yes, sir. And also, I was right. See, Larry's just working.
Always. I know, man, but you should still show up once in a while. Just tell them you got a sales call with
Yeah,
15 people.
yeah, they'll understand. So yeah, yesterday I did a few good minutes with our mutual buddy Vala Afshar, and one of the things I like to do the little promotional images, so I'm always looking for
That picture is amazing that you got.
this. Oh, you mean this one
The
here?
no, no.
That's
I
the
didn't even
one,
see
man.
that one. Oh my God.
Oh man! So when I saw this picture, I immediately had to put that in, and Vala was like, "That is a strange picture."
Well, it kind of is because he literally looks like he's in midair.
But he gave me like the backstory to, because maybe he had forgotten his picture. He is at one of his speaking things. I forget what country it is, and they were like, they were just asking him if he would pose in certain manner. He's like, I don't even. That's not even me. The way
No.
but they captured that, and it's like, oh man. And I saw that, I was like, yeah. But we had fun. And somebody actually in the comments section after I posted that promotional is like, man, that's a serious power pose there that I'll ask. And somebody else is like, where can you get that chair?
It is a really nice looking chair, I have to say. But
Yeah.
Vala looks great. I mean, he really does. He just looks so sharp. But show the preview image that you used before that. For the
Oh, I
solo of
wish I
him.
had it. Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Where he's sort of looking up.
Exactly. That one. That was.
Well, I told him that was the one I used for the original promo, and I told him, in this, has anybody ever told you look like that actor Oscar Isaac? Because you look exactly like that dude in the picture. And he was like, he just started laughing. I was like, no, I'm serious. You guys look alike. I mean, you could go into acting, make a lot of money that way too. But yeah, so anyway, we had a great conversation. But I wanted to play a clip from the conversation. Oh, matter of fact, you'll see that picture because it's part of the clip.
Okay.
So or maybe you didn't know. Remember when we were at Dreamforce and we were all together, me, you, Vala, and Charlie. We did that
if
show.
I didn't know that, I'm having a real problem right now.
But did you know? I could have used this at a Stump the Godfather question, but did you know that Vala's book,
Boundless? Yeah.
Boundless, there you go.
I have it. Got it.
Did you know that was the day that book came out?
No.
And he said he was going to do going to the local ABC affiliate that day, but it was to talk about Dreamforce, right? But somebody at the studio at the ABC noticed that this book came out, and they were like, "Oh, we want to talk about the book," and he's like, "Nope, can't do it." Nobody told him to say this. He said, "Nope, can't do it. The focus is going to be on Dreamforce. What Salesforce is doing, not on the book." And he even said the guy, I guess the host of the show. You remember this guy's name, Larry Beal? He was on ESPN back in the day, and because I was like,
if I see his face, I'd know.
You'll know him exactly.
Yeah.
So while his new book was coming out, he was going to be on that, basically a regional, ABC affiliate, and could have talked about his book.
I know him.
Didn't do it, but he didn't do it. He kept the focus on. So this is wow. We're at the end of the year, so that was like 3 months ago, right? He told me yesterday that this was the conversation we had. This was only the second time he was doing some kind of a promotional around the book, right?
Not shocked. Not about him. I'm never shocked like that. He's the thing with Vala that I absolutely love is not only he's insanely accomplished, he's got a gigantic following, and he's still one of the nicest, most humble people I have ever met in my life. Right. Yep. And it hasn't changed that one bit with him. And that book, I'm not shocked because I know he doesn't go out and solicit that. Right. He just doesn't.
So I'm going to play the clip just to set it up. So he hasn't done any promotionals. There was no big campaign. They don't, him and his co-author, his name is Henry King. I think he's over at Accenture.
Yeah.
They didn't hire a
Publicist.
publicity person or a promotional agent or anything, but the book has been a #1 seller on Amazon without any push, any effort. This clip is going to share why.
I have been depositing into the social media bank every day for 11 plus years without ever missing a day. So when the book was out and I went and said, dear community, we wrote a book, it's called Boundless. That tweet of the book announcement has over 16 million views.
Holy crap.
So the lesson there is you can be the spark. The spark can come from you. But if you want sustained positive momentum, the flame, the heat, and the energy has to come from the community. So if you invest in a community, and I didn't make an ask for 11 years because I didn't have a book. I didn't have a reason to ask. And in fact, the book comment was, I hope you enjoy the read. I was a little bit hesitant to even say, please get the book. I just assumed maybe if you got it, you enjoy the read. So my point is, you know, I think when we were in school, Brent, I mean, you and I heard this for years. The more you give, the more you get. I heard this phrase my whole life. I've now experienced it for certainly the last decade. The more you give, the more you get.
Amen.
So because he gave, and he didn't give with the thought of getting something back,
right,
which is what most people do. Let's face it. A lot of people, you only give because you hope, or you're the plan, or your strategy is saying you got to give in order to get. He was just giving, and he said, like, he has not missed a day of at least posting something, and it's always, all you have to do is look at whatever he posts. It's motivational. It's about something that's important or some good information, but it's never about him. It's never with the thought of, I'm promoting myself by pushing this out. It's just about giving. And because he has done that day after day after day after year, the one time he put it out that was something of his, 16 million views.
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself shows you the power of doing, of kind of being a part of a community, but not just to try to draw it out of the community, but to actually give, just with giving at the forefront. And what happens after that happens.
Oh, you know what? It's just, you're right on every count. I mean, I remember I've heard it all the time, and I know you have, when somebody says, well, you know, when you give it, of course, your karma will be you'll get something back. And the only way I can ever see responding is that's not the point. The point of giving isn't to get. I mean, you get something automatically, which is you get a good feeling that you helped somebody in some way, right? That's enough, right? You don't have to worry about the material return, whatever it is. It could be return, you know, with Vala, I guarantee, didn't even think about 16 million or 1 million or even one response. Because he's not like that. Vala and you, me, a few others, many others who want to just do what they can for others. And what you get in return is a feeling that you did something that helped someone.
Yeah, it's like, I like how he said, you know, I mean, you give for 11 years and never really asked for anything. And not that he was asking, he was just basically saying, hey, I got a new book coming out, like everybody to know. And he said he was even hesitant in asking people to go get it. I mean, so all that 11 years of giving was done completely without the thought of anything coming back in return, you know?
Yeah,
that's rare.
But that's the kind of person he is. And, you know, and our other guest on that very show that we were talking about, Charlie, is exactly the same way.
We talked about that too. We talked about Charlie is a brilliant example of that. And Charlie almost had us all crying that day because he told an example of, based on all that Charlie has done when his father passed away. Look at the community's response and the rally around Charlie. Remember, he talked about how all these people in his community wore these T-shirts that they had made up, celebrating Charlie and his father, and it was very emotional. But that's part of Charlie. Does the same thing. Charlie gives and gives, and he does it as graciously and as spiritually happy as anybody I've ever seen. And he's doing it because that's who he is, not because he's thinking something's going to come back to him.
Exactly right.
But when something happens and people that have seen what you've done over the years find out that something happens, they don't have to be prompted. They immediately, on like a knee-jerk reaction, rush to do whatever they can do.
I always wonder, and I really have wondered this in the past. I mean, I know that Vala, as a Salesforce employee, is hired as chief evangelist. Charlie is hired as CTO of the connected customer, right? And in other words, they have specific job descriptions and tasks they have to carry out, and they have, I'm sure, metrics, some KPIs they have to meet, and so on and so forth. But I wonder if Salesforce actually understands the value they really do bring. I mean, you'd think, okay, chief evangelist, but it's so far beyond the idea of a chief evangelist. It's the two human beings who are living empaths, at a degree that is profound, and that's a much bigger value than any of those two job descriptions they have. Again, they're both very accomplished at their jobs. And, to your point, Vala proved it when he said, no, I'm here to talk about Salesforce, not the book. They used to have some people at Salesforce who are no longer there, thank God, who basically say, oh, yeah, not only will I talk about the book, I won't ever mention Salesforce, right? That's happened more than once, let's just say. And luckily, Salesforce finally parted ways with those folks. But these two are selfless human beings in the fundamental sense. Look, every human is selfish in one regard. And when I say selfish, I mean they're self-concerned, meaning they have something that that makes them glad to do what they do, but that feeling of being glad is why they do it too, right? So, like Mother Teresa was not completely selfless. She did what she did because it was not because it was a life mission and she was sacrificing everything for it. It's because it made her feel like she was doing something important. And and Vala and Charlie are the epitome of those kind of wonderful human beings. And I don't actually think, and I really don't think this. I think individually some people recognize that about them. But I don't think the company understands the value that they genuinely both bring that goes well beyond their corporate descriptions and the job that they're required to do. I think that they might acknowledge it, but they don't understand it, right?
That might be true. The thing that I feel like we're all kind of caught up on numbers, right? Not all. I'm not saying every individual, but generally speaking, particularly in the business world, it really numbers kind of rule everything. And so the fact that they have numbers like 16 million, I would say that's probably the thing that gets most people's attention. But it's really about them and how they go about their lives that gets the number. And I think you might be right. I think so many people are more focused on the number than on the actions and the way you go about life. And I mean, because let's put it like this. If Vala could have done 11 years of what he's done, let's just say for whatever reason, the big number wasn't at the end of that. Does that take away from him? Of course not. Not in my
Right.
eye, not in your eye.
No, not in
But
the
to
least.
some, it wouldn't be as impressive
Right.
that he's done this for 11 years because there was no big number at the end of it. That's the sad part. And I don't think that's any individual company thing. I think that's kind of the way of the world. You can be doing all these great things, but if there's no tangible behind it, does it matter?
Well, it's literally the people who don't get that are the same people who are the absolutists who say, "Oh no, the only truth is in the data." That's
Ugh.
literally never the actual case ever. Data can be manipulated like crazy. So it's never the number. It's never the math. It's never that. It's how you conduct your life. And these two are exemplary humans in the way they conduct their life. And if they weren't at Salesforce or they weren't in the tech world, it wouldn't matter.
Right.
Right? They'd be conducting their life as exemplary humans in a different way. That's all.
Let me shout out another of our buddies because he's been commenting around here. Anand Thakur, he's a guy that every time I talk to him, one of the things I know he's going to ask is there anything I can do for you?
Yep.
It never fails. It's like we were having a conversation. It usually ends with, "Is there anything I can do for you?"
That's him.
And he is legitimate about asking about that. It's not anything made up or canned or anything like that. But that's just him, and that just shows you the kind of person he is. And I love being surrounded by folks like Charlie and Vala, Anand, you of course, and others. Because quite honestly, I'm a pretty introverted guy. I don't go out of my way to meet a lot of people. So I'm always thankful that those kind of people I somehow get connected with, because I don't do well with the folks that are not like that.
You know what though? And there's a reason. I've thought about this actually, because you're what I always call, and I'm similar in a different degree, but extroverted introvert, right? Meaning you're fine in groups, but if you got a choice, you stay home, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's I'm the same. But the reason you may not go out of your way to meet people, but you've always gone out of your way to help people, right? Which is a different thing, but it's something that's who you are, and you've always been like that. As long as I've known you, since what, 2003 now, right? So 20 years, right? So in all 20 years, you've been that way. And so, which is actually why the Anands and the Charlies and the Valas are as, let's say, happy to be in your company as you are to be in theirs, right? And they really are. It's not like, look, even Val and Charlie aren't always equally happy to be in everyone's company, right? It's not like all equal. But it would like, and Charlie and I especially have had a conversation about you, and it is that. I mean, he knows and feels your goodness, I guess is the best way to put it. He knows and feels it, and it makes a very big difference, because the other side with people like Vala and Charlie is, and it's just reality, because they are the kind of people they are. There's a lot of people asking them for help, right? And it gets tiring. It just does. I mean, it's like you only have a certain amount of time in a day in your life, and some of it is occupied by things you must do regardless, just to maintain your existence, and the other things are occupied by things you'd like to be able to do, or things that you need to do but aren't necessarily required for your continued existence. And then you have the people who are coming to you because they feel that you will help them, and you don't want to say no, but at the same time, you don't really necessarily have the time to help, and it gets very tiring. Well, Charlie, and again, this is a few years ago, but Charlie and I had this conversation, and Charlie, like around you, he's energized, right? So in other words, where some of the time, look, again, the goodness notwithstanding, it can suck things out. It can suck energy from you. It just can, because you get tired trying to help. But when he'd be around you, he'd just get energized, right? He'd feel better. He'd feel ready to go out and do things again. I mean, but that's when you have look, there's a lot we spent if you look at the industry and you look at things from COVID, you remember the big conversation that arose in the early part of COVID. Thank you, Anand, but you're literally Vala Charlie Anand here, right? Right. So Brent characterized you perfectly. You're just that kind of. I'm grateful that he introduced me to you. Let's put it that way. But if you remember, empathy became the subject of discussion before Gen AI. It was empathy, and every company all of a sudden was empathetic one way or the other. And there was a ton of actual.
It was
and
AE,
then,
artificial empathy.
yeah, that's right. AE. We had Gen AE, right? But if you remember, there was a ton of like thought leadership that came out, and people like what was his name? Emotional intelligence guy. Guy who wrote the books on emotional intelligence became big again, but people like that because, situational awareness, empathy, different types of empathy, what you had to do to be empathetic. If you remember, Pega actually built an AI that was empathetic.
They were actually talking about empathy before.
Yeah, they were pioneers, and they were not. They actually created technology that wasn't actually empathetic, but it meant it was customer aware is really what it was, right? But that conversation, while it was great and important, was pretty much intellectual, right? Nobody became an empath because of it. Right? They might have learned why they were empathetic if they were, or why they weren't if they weren't. But you look at people who, on the surface of it, for example, might not seem to be, and absolutely are some of the most big-hearted, empathetic people in the world. And you know what I'm thinking about, right? Esteban, right? Esteban is we put disclaimers up when Esteban's on his show because we're afraid of what he might. Like, now that we have a network, we're afraid we're going to get sued. Right? But if you want to meet one of the biggest hearted humans I have ever met in my entire life, who is always there for people, and he puts everything into that. It's not like he does a perfunctory thing to help and then goes away. He's in for the whole show, the whole picture, the whole game. When something's there, he'll put time, money, effort, whatever it takes to help that person through whatever they're going through. If you meet Esteban, you might not know that about him because he doesn't talk about it tons, but he is that way. I've rarely met a person like him who's wholeheartedly there to help when the help is needed. And it's very rare, and these are, look, that's why you look at this group, all these people, all of those people, and, it's kind of that old like minds thing. They kind of gravitate to each other. And it's great. I mean, I'm 74. I'll live to be 100 around people like you and Anand and Vala and Esteban and Charlie and so on and so forth. I'll live over to break 100 because of that, because I get energized by that. My brain works, my heart works, my mind works. My body doesn't work quite as well, but most everything I got works better because of that. And to me, and it's one of the things I have been absolutely focused on is who are the actual empaths and who are the people just talking about it, right? Because to me, I will do anything in my power to help somebody who's an absolute empath, but I'm never going to help a fake one, right? I mean, when I say fake, it doesn't mean that they don't want to mean it, but they don't do anything to show that they do. Again, they may be sincere in their desire to be empathetic, and that's something, but they ultimately don't follow through because it doesn't motivate them to help because they don't see their benefit to them.
Yep, that ties perfectly back to the conversation with Vala. You know, most people wouldn't do what he did for 11 years without trying to take something back or get something in return.
Yep.
So yeah, totally. Yeah. You know what? Why don't we do this? Because we're a couple minutes, 15 minutes out. And there's one last Stump the Godfather in me
Oh
for the year.
God, I was so hoping I could talk it all the way to 4.
But
We could talk all the way to 4 and miss it.
but I had a call with Anand earlier. I guess that was earlier this week. And he started asking me questions about like what was the highlight of the year and some other stuff. So I told him what mine was. What was the best experience of the year or something like that. What was yours? I mean, there's a lot took place this year, from what we did on PPN, or traveling the vendor events. What was like the biggest or your most important experience of this year? I got mine. I wonder if yours is the same.
Well, I mean, the most profound experience of the year, which is what it would be. I don't know if I'd call it, yeah, Figma. Bye bye Figma.
It was a figma of Adobe's imagination.
I'll tell you what, the millennials are probably thrilled to death.
Oh, they're happy about it.
It was probably the trip to Chennai, really. I mean,
That was mine.
Yeah, it was profound. I would I call it the best? I don't know. Best is like so subjective. I'm not really sure how I define it. It was so profound that's hard to like add that kind of emotion to it.
Well, there was a second one for me.
Okay,
well, and I'm wondering if all right, it's going to be high up on your list. All right, and now live from Las Vegas, the CRM Playaz.
Yeah,
when we had that full stage. What was that? I can't even remember what hotel that was at.
That was at the Bellagio.
The Bellagio.
That was at the Bellagio.
That was, India, of course, that was such a deep and meaningful experience, but in a different way. It was like 14 at that time, 14 years of doing the Playaz, and it really felt like we were doing a lounge act.
Right.
Vegas. It was so cool.
That was what it was. It was the coolest experience of the year. I would go there with you 100%. That was awesome. I mean,
man, that was fun.
And I mean, think about it. Think about what was his name again? Austin.
Drew.
Austin.
Oh,
no,
Austin. That's right. Austin.
It had to be Austin.
There's like 5 Austin
because everybody in the company was named Austin. But think about, he came up and got us the Police Squad music. How the hell did he do that? We gave him the request. We said, well, we'll do a walk-on if you can come up with the Police Squad music. And he did. In 2 hours, he had it.
It was awesome. But and then it just felt like, I mean, of course, there was no live studio. Well, there's like a handful of people in the audience.
Right.
But to be on that big stage and then have the guests come on, it was fun. It was like we played at having our own talk show.
Yeah, basically that's what it, and the giant logo on the big stage screen. Yeah. I mean, that was, and the logo, by the way, worked on that big stage. It actually worked. I mean, it looked really good. It didn't lose something by being big, right? At all. It kind of even gained a little. I mean, Verint really, they
went all out on that.
They did, and they are, and so for that, by the way, thank you very much, Ryan. I know, Celia, you're now at ISOL, but thank you for what you did at Verint. Thank you, absolutely, Dan Bodner, and thank you every single guest we had on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were all great. You think of Jamie Merritt. Was he the one with he also had a lot of cats?
Yes.
He had cats. And Daniel Ziv, remember, he was the one that shared your love of liquors,
wine, and wine and spirits.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Celia joined us for a little bit there on stage, and that was fun. And then it even continued over for me at last month at their analyst event, where they had hands down the best location for our analyst event I've ever been at out in Scottsboro at this really great I guess that, what do they call that? The resort.
Yeah.
And it was, the video I got, you can see, we're standing out. There's mountains in the background, and palm
Stunning.
trees. It was
Stunning.
great.
It literally, the background looked fake. It was so beautiful, right?
I'd like pull a leaf. Hey, it's real, folks.
That's
But no, that was great. I see John is talking. Anybody want to put in what your highlight of the year was? Feel free. Was hitting the event circuit and having that banner with you all and trying to make some sense of it all.
well, which of course the latter we completely failed at making sense of it. But
right. But yeah, so much happened this year. We talked to a lot of not only a lot of executives, we had a show with, and I don't know if anybody else has done that, in the way that we did it, but bringing together Dan Bodner, Shredder Vimbu, Alan Treffler, folks who have literally created companies and stayed with that company over decades, as that company grew from like nothing to over $1 billion in annual revenue. Bringing those three together and just having them talk and having a conversation, that was a highlight for me too.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was
to me. Look, the other thing I just enjoyed over the year was just the evolution of PPN itself, right? I really have enjoyed. I mean, look, we have a million things we got to do, and we got big plans for next year, and so on and so forth. And I mean, think about it. I put up the video of Playaz 5 years ago, and I mean, think about that, right? It's like, it's talk about forget about it. That was a forget about it. But we've been doing this now as of January 14, 2024. It'll be 15 years, right? And then we just basically, because you and I have been talking about it on and off for a while, and then what was it? I think in July of 2022, we said, you know what? Maybe we should actually create a network, and because there's a lot of needed thought leadership type of things, and plus it could be great and experimental, and we could actually build something that we both really love doing, and we geek out on equipment, and we could do all kinds of things. And then we launched it, and now we have 8 shows, and it's actually become, it's not where we want it to be yet, but at the same time it's institutionalized, and that actually is a big deal. Meaning it's a recognized entity unto itself, and that says a lot in basically a year and a month. And
people that have been on the numbers of shows, they ought to be institutionalized. So that it kind of goes without saying. Well, and folks like John and Alan Berkson, they're actually on more shows than we are at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. We get to bring in Alan and John and these lovely, great human beings with incredibly deep minds too, and expansive experience in the industry, so that we get some real insight. And as far as content goes, I think if you go to the playazproductions.network, where the recent shows aren't, the most recent, meaning the last 3 days, are not up yet. After this show, they'll all be going up, because this is the last show of the year, I think. So, but if you look at it, we probably have close to 200 shows of varying kinds up there this year, or from it's from January 2020. No, it's from January 2023 to the end of the year. Yeah. Every show is up, and that's a lot.
Yeah, so that's great.
There's tons of content. We're gonna do a revamp of the website, so it'll be a little easier to find, among other things. But we'll be talking more about that some other time.
Let's see, one last comment here. But I come to your shows because of the caliber of the combos. Yeah, of course. I mean, you're a part of that. That's what we like to do, is not just have us yabbing away, although we did that today. We like having we like having a bunch of different voices and different perspectives, and only let's just say, only problem is if I watched them all, I wouldn't get.
Don't worry, I haven't watched them all, and they're our network.
But guess what, John? There's one more thing before we go.
Yeah.
Guess what? Here, you got to take this one in before you get back to all that.
Well, wait, before.
And now it's time for Stump the Godfather. with the venerable Paul Greenberg. Brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365.
Hey, what
Just
a way to
enjoying
dampen
Benny.
Christmas.
I got to Benny just
Completely
makes
dampen a very high level, a high show.
he makes it so good. All right, so this is one that was actually sent in by Anand Tucker. I was like, oh, this is a good question. All right, and very easy, question. What percentage of Meta's revenue its last fiscal year came by way of ads? So not because it's the 2023 hasn't been done yet. So this is 2022. What percentage of their revenue came by way of ads? Okay. So it looks like all right, John, you got a guess, and no asking Chat GPT or Googling, just take a guess. Anand, if you're out there, since this was your idea, Michael Klein, if you're still with us, I know Jason is off to Costa Rica, so he's gone. Aaron, if you're there, Larry, if you haven't gone back to work yet,
Kate, if you're still there, as
yeah,
LinkedIn user,
everybody, take a shot. All right, this is 10% ads, 9. Okay, a little levity there from Mr. Reed, or as we like to call him, the Brohammer. He's saying 98%. Okay. Anybody else out there want to take a guess before the venerable Paul Greenberg?
I'm coming in a little lower than that.
LinkedIn user, that must be
That's
Kate.
Kate. That's Kate.
80%. 80%. Okay, so we got 98. We've got 80. Anybody else out there want to throw a guess in without looking it up first? Anand can't do it because he already knows the answer. I just thought about that. That would be kind of funny if he threw a guess in. He's like, wait a minute, you sent me that question. So maybe it's going to be only a couple of these answers here. So there's 80, there's 98, and then there's the venerable Paul Greenberg.
I'm coming in right between them at 91.
Oh, look at this. Ginger doing the prices right here. 87.563. Wow, we went to the thousands. That's pretty cool.
It would be funny if Ginger hits it exactly.
She gets points for originality on that one.
I'm going 91.
91. All right, so we got
actually no, I'm going. Yeah, no, I'll stick with it. 91.
All right, so we have 90, 91, 87.563. No, we got 80, 91, 87.563, and Brohammer coming in at 98%. All right, the answer is 98. So John was
really close.
I'm surprised. Sorry, Michael, you got it in just a tad too short. And what is 98% plus 1? Wouldn't that just be 99%?
That's what I would think. It means one more. Either way, John wins.
Yeah, John, I'm not, the Brohammer is so well read. I'm sure he probably saw that somewhere,
That's what I think too. I think he already knew, even though he didn't look it up.
But remember when they were all that talk about Facebook diversifying their revenue streams?
Yeah, that really happened well.
Yeah,
great job.
There you go, Brohammer baby.
Yeah, that is the Brohammer has been brought down.
Yeah, so they probably need to do a little better job with their diversification strategy there, because that's Brohammer.
Yeah, that I'm sure of that.
Oh, he just guessed. Oh, see, I'm giving them all sorts of credit for
me too, John. I would have rolled with what we said.
Yeah. All right. Michael Klein says +1, as in someone else had it. Oh, somebody else. Oh, okay.
Yeah, John. He was also in on 98.
Okay.
And he cheated. Besides,
I give Michael credit because he could have just said 98 too, and he said no. 98 is +1, so he gave the Brohammer credit, and that's great. That's what this show is about, bringing people together.
You come in as runner-up, Michael.
What's this? But I know how much struggles they've. Yeah, well, they still made 117 billion in revenue last year, I believe. So they might not be struggling all that much overall.
They're struggling to be a company that makes sense.
They should have. I wonder if shouldn't they just go back to being called Facebook? because the whole
who calls them meta anyway?
It's like this all goes back to they moved all their chips in. They were going all in on the metaverse, remember?
Yeah.
And that change was part of it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I mean, I don't even think of Meta. I just call them Facebook.
Does that mean 2% from commerce?
Yeah, right. Facebook coffee mugs. Facebook coffee mugs. Well, maybe they get it from what's their Quest, their VR thing.
Oh.
That's actually something I have been looking into. VR. I'm not buying them. I'm just looking into them. VR headsets and the like. And theirs actually is very well received because it's also.
What was that? Yeah, they bought that company. I can't remember.
Yeah,
the
Quest.
name.
It's Quest.
That was the name of the company.
No, I don't remember, but it was.
Yeah,
it was a competitor to What was the name?
It was a big name in that. It
competed with HTC, the one who direct competitor.
It's just completely escaping me right now, but it was a big deal when they bought it.
Well, Meta 3, I think, is the one. I mean, the Quest 3 is the current one. I think it's reasonably priced. It's getting great reviews. So that's probably some small percent of revenue there because it's selling really, from what I understand, it's selling really well.
Well, that's good. Apparently they need to, do more diversification efforts.
Yeah.
First,
good luck.
Maybe they can get that number down to 97 next year.
Yeah. Well, I'll guess 97 next year. We'll see what happens.
Any last words for the year?
No, just Happy New Year to everybody. Brent, I am thrilled to death that we get to keep doing this. It's like amazing. I'm so excited. And we do have plans for next year that we'll probably, and because we're not doing a show till next year, we'll probably watch for some announcements on LinkedIn and places like that about some of the stuff we're doing, and then we'll bring them together at a show next year early on to talk about what's the plans for 2024.
Well, I know for sure next year I'm going to be buying another Rams cap. Tell you that much.
I probably won't buy. It depends. If the Yankees get Yamamoto, I'll buy Yankees stuff. But I have enough.
And look, I because I post a lot of these streams on my personal LinkedIn, and it always has a thumbnail image. If you just go and look at like all my posts every week or every time you see a new show, you see me in a different sweater and cap combination. It's crazy how, and it made me think. I didn't realize I knew I had a lot of caps, but I got a whole lot of hoodies and stuff too. It's kind of.
You have what, maybe 200 different pieces of Rams paraphernalia?
Maybe. I haven't really counted up everything, but it's kind of heading in that direction. Happy New Year, Michael. Absolutely.
Definitely. And we will be back the first week. I think it's the first week in January, whatever the Thursday at 3 is.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Works for me.
Hey, Ginger, that's right. Rams caps, yes. And I need all of them for tonight because the Rams are playing Thursday night football.
I know.
We actually are in the hunt for a playoff spot.
I know, and I'm going to have to root against you the game after.
I know you guys are. Yeah, we're playing the Giants.
Yeah, don't worry. We're not in the hunt, so.
I'll be in my bunker. Well, actually, I'll be home by then. Yeah, I'll be home. But anyway, happy holidays to everybody. We will see you in 2024. So for the last time for 2024, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
There's Minnie.
And she'll be back too.
That's right. She's under contract for another year.
That's right. We have her for perpetuity.
See ya.